And we're live.
All right. We're going to be running Super Metroid GT Classic. I'm Komaru.
I'm
And
Ploff27.
Terry for me is Ploff.
There we go. Easy.
So if we want to get started, I'll just count us down. Well, me. Yes.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Nice. Playing on Samus C for best RNG.
I'm playing on Samus C because my other 2 files are my backup saves.
Yep. Well, hopefully we'll never need those. Those will never come up, right?
Hopefully. Who knows? If I mess up Lava Dive more than once or twice, then we might need the first save. And then if I mess up Green Gate Glitch 10 or 15 times, we will need the second save.
I mean, it's good to be prepared. Yeah.
So this is Super Metroid.
There's like some tricks later in the run that can be pretty scary, so safety saves.
Yes. So what we're doing here is at the very beginning, Ridley comes and steals the baby Metroid. And in this cutscene, you can shoot Ridley 100 times if you are really insane, or you can just damage yourself down to critical health. So that's why we take damage by getting hit by Ridley's tail.
If you shoot Ridley 100 times, it actually makes his fight weaker later on in the run.
I think that's only in some ROM hacks.
I thought that was in vanilla. Like, people tell me
sure
that's in vanilla.
Pretty sure that's not in vanilla.
Okay, maybe I'm just wrong.
There's no flag for it set, which brought great contention to the true completion categories rule set. And I'm messing up series. The beginning of this run is going to look a lot similar to pretty much every other Super Metroid run. We're going to, we do series escape. We're going to get Morph Ball, bombs, missiles, super missiles, charge, kill Kraid, get Varia, and then we are going to make a beeline to Golden Chorizo. And the reason that we're doing this is because there is a cheat code. Yeah, there's a cheat code. Shake my head, swoos. That allows you. It just gives you all the items except for Screw Attack, and it's activated at the Golden Chorizo, hence GT code.
And it's also right next to Screw Attack. It's just right there. So you essentially get all the majors. You get a full row of energy tanks, and then it's like 30 missiles, 30 supers, and 30 power bombs?
100 missiles.
100 missiles. Ah, that was close.
Yeah. And enough that after that point, the game is literally just a boss rush.
Yeah, you basically do lots of weird glitchy stuff to beeline to Golden Chorizo as fast as possible, and then you use the full power of Samus's kit to boss rush across all the other bosses. Nice Moonfall, first try.
Thanks. I messed up a trick there called Moonfall. It's pretty free, but if you mess up the inputs for it, it costs a bit of time. It's only a couple seconds, honestly, but...
Yeah, that trick is done by moonwalking and spin jumping off a ledge, and it uncaps your fall speed, and then you just fall super fast. And it was discovered relatively recently, like a year ago, and it took forever to discover just because nobody plays with moonwalk because it's terrible. But now we all play with moonwalk because it allows you to do moonfalls. And it has good parts to it.
I really enjoy moonwalk because of its utility. Because you can position yourself really easily with moonwalk.
Yeah. It allows you to move very slowly backwards, and with angling, you can move very slowly forwards. So you can really accurately position yourself for certain tricks, which can be very useful in some cases.
And in fact, when I go to Bomb Chorizo, you're going to see me using that to set up for a pixel-perfect positioning that will cause Bomb Chorizo to jump back the frame that he stands up, and it's really cool. But I wouldn't do it if I didn't have Moonwalk on, because it's literally pixel perfect. So yeah. I will be leaning forward and staring at my TV while my eyes burn out a little bit.
There's a couple magic pixels in Super Metroid, just for various things.
So in this room, we have to kill all the pirates. And then we get to the climb. The climb is one of the hardest things to do in the game. And it really trips up a lot of new players because, like, you're just starting out and you're like, well, the game should be easy. I'm just starting out. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. You
this
can
is
already see me
easily
messing up.
you focus. This is easily like one of the biggest walls for new runners of this game. Komaru's doing a method called the Behemoth Climb, which is objectively better. Like, it's slightly faster, it's easier and more consistent for many people. Where you sort of
And you
jump.
can tell I'm in a marathon because I messed up a lot.
Yeah, you jump up the middle. I do the sort of older wall jump climb strategy just because it's what I know better, and it hurts your hands more and is slightly slower. The Behemoth Climb is faster because of ledge grabs and stuff, which we can explain.
It's more
or not
consistent.
explain.
If you do the other one properly, it's literally faster, but it's a lot harder to do consistently.
Yeah. I thought,
So let's hope I
like,
get
if
this
you're a
pixel
TAS
proper.
and you down grab perfectly, then, the
Yes,
Behemoth
if you're a
Climb's
TAS.
faster.
So I do. Is this right? I think that's right. It's really hard to tell. It's literally a pixel.
Nice. So Komaru's going to shoot Bomb Chorizo with 5 pea shooter shots, which puts Bomb Chorizo on a multiple of 100 for his health. Missiles
I
do
messed up,
100
but it's
damage.
good.
Just pretend it. No. Missiles do 100 damage, and when Bomb Chorizo gets below 100 health, it'll go into a phase where it loses its head and jumps around like an idiot. So the idea is by shooting only 5 pea shooter shots at the beginning and then using only missiles, we can skip that. There's a lot of really funky stuff in that fight about, like, ammo conservation, or health conservation so that you can get ammo drops from the eggs. This is a trick called Alcatraz Escape, and I fail it every single time. But Komaru got it pretty quickly. Just allows you to sort of wall jump out of that hole instead of bombing out on the right. Save a little time.
For some reason in this marathon, I am very nervous.
I mean...
Like, it's really tripping me up just being a little nervous.
It's alright.
Like, I've done marathons and everything before, so I should, I'll be fine. But, so one thing you may have noticed, why did I do that? Now we have to get drops.
Yeah.
See, now...
There's
I'm
a couple
not
strats for
focusing.
this room where you can either missile the pirates or just face tank the pirates, and you'll kind of switch between them based on category. What's more important to you, ammo or health?
This is a really bad showcase of Super Metroid because I'm messing up all over the place, so...
This is about as well as I play, so, like, I think you're doing pretty good.
I'm usually a lot more consistent. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing a trick up here to get super missiles early.
It's called Early Supers.
Ooh, it's got a great name.
Yep. Basically, there's a crumble block platform that you need to run across or you'll fall through. And then there's all those metal gates that you need to get past. And if you hit the ground and go into Morph Ball at the same time, you keep all of your running speed, which allows you enough time to just squeeze under all of those metal gates without other items that you would normally have, like speed booster.
I also got another trick there called Quick Drop, which is if you turn around on crumble blocks, you keep your momentum.
Yes.
And I messed up a trick there called a Kago.
Yeah. That Morph Ball Kago is so tricky. You can Kago through... So Kagoing is a thing where you keep all your momentum while going through an enemy. By doing certain animations. That was a really high jump. It's okay. Easy. You keep
Oh, you mean
Kagoing...
through the door?
Yeah. Because most
Oh, I
people
did that
do a
on
lower
purpose.
jump. I do a lower jump. I also usually mess it up. So... Komaru here
Okay,
is going to the back door of Spore Spawn. Spore Spawn's a mini-boss where you're supposed to get super missiles, and we skip in pretty much every category with early supers. But with a super missile and some tight positioning with the camera, you can get through the back door, and this is just to get more super missiles because we need super missiles for a trick coming up called Green Gate Glitch. And that trick, it costs a super missile every time you try, and it can be really tricky, so for safety, you get some extras.
This only costs about 40 seconds, so I wouldn't do it in a PB attempt, but in a marathon, it's a really good idea.
Yeah. Shouts to Kojak.
Please shoot those.
Yo, first try, easy every time.
So we're gonna skip these missiles because I don't care about missiles at all, because once I activate the GT code, I will have like all the missiles in the world. And like you'll probably see me once I get GT code, I will be spamming missiles for no reason. Like that's how many we have.
It's just literally for funsies. Although if you want to see true like insane ammo counts, you can Oh, that was really close. There's a mock ball strat you can get in this room. This is
And
this
it
is
makes
the,
this
this
room
is
a
my
1,000 times
backup.
easier.
I
This
came
is
up with this
the
backup. It's the shoot everything
Excessive
backup.
use of charge beam.
Yeah.
Because you use charge beam like 6 times in a row.
Yeah, it's great. But if you want to see really excessive ammo counts, you can check out the TAS any percent. I don't know if it still uses this, but I know it did at a time. There's a way that you can integer underflow your ammo counts and get like 65,000 missiles and supers. Okay, so Komaru is currently going for a trick called, I guess it's just the Red Tower Climb, and it involves doing a lot of really tight wall jumps up past the Rippers. Very nice second try to get through those blocks at the top. This allows us to, normally you're supposed to have Ice Beam to freeze the Rippers and get up, but without that we can get Power Bombs up at the top of this shaft, which will allow us to get down into Norfair and lower Norfair much more quickly after we beat Kraid.
I'm really nailing these damage boosts today.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That damage boost on the little yellow thing is a lot harder than it looks.
Two
Also,
for two.
do we want to explain damage? We should probably explain damage boost. Basically, a damage boost when you hit an enemy. In most games, damage boosting is just like you hit the enemy and then you keep going and you make use of iframes. But in this game, you actually get a boost. Like, you actually go faster. If you hold the opposite direction of the direction you're facing and then A, you will fly backwards away from the thing that you run into. And you can use that in a couple places just to get across rooms faster and to get past enemies more easily.
Oh, nice. I got it.
Nice. That moonfall always looks super sick.
So I do a bunch of farming in that room just because I want to have good health, especially in a marathon run.
Yeah.
But the first time through, I say, hey, I don't need health. I'm just going to ram into everything.
There are lots of farm strats in this game, especially for like if you're running any percent where your ammo is actually quite tight. There's lots of times where runners will sort of on the fly have to look at their ammo counts and say, oh, do I have enough of this? Do I want just to lose like, you know, a half a second or a second to get like an extra missile here?
So I took opening that tank extra careful because there is a frame perfect trick you can do that will just crash the game.
Yep, it's the best trick. If you leave that room on the frame that the tube cracks, then the game crashes. It's great.
So for those of you who don't know, when you use the power bomb, it breaks the tube, but only after you move. So you can use the power bomb and then just sit there and wait.
Yes.
And it won't break until you move.
You can also use that to like buffer jumps, so like you can jump off of the tube as it's breaking, and then get up onto platforms in Meridia, which is useful in some categories, but not here because we just break it ahead of time. So here we're coming up on Kraid. Don't mess up the Kraid quick kill.
I've only gotten it every time in practice, so that means that it's not going to happen in the marathon.
Yep. The Kraid quick kill is infamous for being really difficult to get in marathons. I mess it up like every single time because I'm bad.
So there's a lot of like cool movement stuff that we're probably not going to go over in the speed run, like arm wiggling and.
I mean, if we find an opportunity
manipulation.
where we're just like not talking about anything, we can talk about other weird and interesting movement stuff in this game, because this game has lots of weird and interesting movement stuff. There's Super Metroid movement tutorials that are literally like hours long, that are really in depth.
Like a lot of it is just manipulating Samus's hitbox. Like you'll see me when I'm jumping. A lot of the time, I will angle down or angle up. I usually use angle down though.
I use angle up because I'm a square.
Just to like land a little faster.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was bad. He gave me health.
Yeah. Grade drops are weird, man. You think like, oh, they're super consistent. If you don't have supers, he drops supers. But no, sometimes he drops some supers, but not a lot. It's weird. Every time you think you understand how this game works, you don't. You don't. You're just wrong. There's like some weird edge case, or like someone comes out with a random trivia fact that proves wrong everything you thought you knew. Here, just picking up more health, mostly for Lava Dive coming up, and for safety, and for Lava Dive.
So yeah, I'll be going into Lava Dive with 3 E-tanks, which gives me just enough time to try twice before dying.
Yeah. There are crazier runners who will go in with even less E-tanks, and they'll also like skip high jump boots. There's lots of things that people will try to skip in their beeline to Golden Torizo, which make a lot of this stuff way harder, but faster if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, Super Metroid is great in that aspect because if you're not, if you haven't been speedrunning the game for a really long time, you can just get extra safety stuff, and it doesn't cost you that much.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you that much time. Compared to like movement stuff. That's those are skills that you're gonna get over time. So if you just keep speedrunning the game, eventually you'll be like, okay, it's time to cut out the safeties.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And like it'll just be natural to do that.
It's kind of crazy. You could have runners doing the same routes and the same tricks, but one will be much faster or slower than the other just from like having better movement. Like the possibility for improving your movement in this game kind of just is infinite. Oh, well, not infinite, but it's very high. Like, Komaru doesn't do that many more tricks and stuff than I do in lots of categories, but he's still faster than me, mostly because of better movement.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, hey.
Oh, yes, I got that jump.
Nice.
I never get that jump.
Nice.
That jump, it's really annoying, that jump, because if you jump too high, you bonk the ceiling and then you miss it, and if it's too low, then you just don't make it.
There's a lot of things that happen in this game that runners make look easy and are not.
And stuff like that door, I went in on the left side of it to make the door transition take less time.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of crazy stuff in this.
You think you know all the speed tech, but then somebody talks about fixing door transitions. Then you realize you know nothing. My favorite part, so this isn't something that happens to every Super Metroid runner at some point in their speedrunning career. So there's a trick in any percent called the full halfie. And it allows you to shine spark across a very long room, but in order to do it, you need to wall jump up a tall room first, right? So everybody at some point in their life is going to try to do full halfie.
I'm going to need some silence here.
Yeah, I'll be quiet for Lava Dive.
This is the trick where I'm likely to die. I think I have one more try in health. Otherwise, we're going to pull up the safety.
Oh,
yes,
let's
okay.
Go.
last little bit of health on that. I've been practicing that like for 3 hours today.
Yeah. That is really, that's obviously very difficult. That allows us to get down here without gravity suit or space jump, which saves just so much time. So excellent job on that. Okay, I was talking about full halfie. So like, now we're just continuing our beeline to Golden Torizo. Full halfie, right? So you need to shine spark across a long room. Nice power bomb, dude. Nice power bomb.
I'm gonna be doing a trick called green gate glitch. Gate glitch.
This allows us to open green gates from the wrong side. And this is nice. That was very, very good.
The safety.
Now don't die to rippers. Nice. Okay.
This is a really good run.
Yeah, this is the point where you now get to exhale because we have made it to Golden Torizo.
So this is the cheat right here, and now I've got everything.
You see Komaru selected missiles there and is now turning off Spazer Beam. So you get all the beams, but Plasma Beam and Spazer Beam were never intended to be on at the same time. And if you fire a shot while they're both on, the game crashes. Except sometimes when it doesn't. Don't worry about it. There's a magic pixel on this mini boss. Also, don't worry about it.
It's actually really lenient. It's not like just 1 pixel.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 pixels.
I think that was too early for this, but yeah, the full halfie.
Yeah, so the full halfie, you have to wall jump up a tall room and then shine spark across a long room, right? Oh, that was close. And every runner attempts this at some point, right? So they charge up their shine spark and they wall jump up the tall room, and then the shine spark runs out before they wall jump all the way to the top. And you're like, wait, what? This looks so easy when everybody else does it. And then you're like, okay, let's just try this again. And then you charge your shine spark, and then you wall jump up the tall room, and then the shine spark runs out before you finish wall jumping up. And everybody has this moment where they're like, do I wall jump slowly or something? And then you're like, oh my god, I wall jump slowly. This is just one of the many realizations of like, there's so many ways to save time in this game. Because yeah, you wall jump slowly. You can wall jump faster or slower, depending on like your rhythm and stuff. It's crazy. Okay, I'm done talking about wall jumping and how this game will come out of nowhere with "but did you know" type stuff.
But yeah, Super Metroid is all about movement, and then it's all about bosses.
Yeah,
And
this category is mostly all about movement because the bosses are easy with Plasma Beam and X-Ray Visor. Can microwave them. You see Komaru took some time to use plasma shots to kill that Key Hunter there, and that was mostly to reduce lag from this power bomb, because Key Hunters are super weird, and they're like 6 hitboxes all amalgamated together, so they cause a lot of lag when you drop a power bomb.
So here you're going to see something we brought up yesterday with the plasma shot to go through the enemy. And I messed up and took damage anyway.
It's fine, you got like 70 ticks. It's easy. You can
yeah,
go
GT
through
code,
those.
I've got a bunch of health, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. You can't see it right now.
There, but
yeah, you can cargo through those spike platforms if you take damage on the spikes on the side.
Oh my goodness, that was bad.
You have to kill both these metal pirates to move on. There's like 20 different like setups for killing these pirates. The plasma beam setup is fastest if you do it optimally.
Yeah, there's a way to get them both in one or like 2 plasma shots, which is really cool and impressive, and I don't do it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I forgot to save, so I'm just gonna farm up just to be safe because it's a marathon.
Yeah. So you can't see
I told
right
myself
now,
I was gonna save here.
But Komaru's currently using the grappling beam, which normally is on the sort of select bar at the top of the screen after power bombs. And then further to the right of that is the X-ray visor, which he also has. You just can't see it because of how the GT code works, so we get some invisible items. And I'm going to be quiet for Ridley, unless you want me to talk about Ridley.
3. I'm just gonna be counting shots, so you can talk over my counting shots.
Cool. So Ridley has lots of different patterns. Komaru's counting how many shots he's shooting because Ridley dies after 20 shots. However, in order for Ridley to actually like be dead, he needs to pick you up and then scream at you. You can get him to die. Ridley's being real mean right now. You can get him to die at like 24 shots without picking you up, but it's not consistent. What Komaru's trying to do, Ridley's currently facing to the right. Pogoing is a good pattern. He's pogoing, and that's good. But currently, he's facing to the right, and you want him facing to the left, because on the left side of the room, if you stand on the edge of the platform, he can't hit you at all, and you can just stand there and shoot shots up at him, and it's not even a thing. That was not a bad Ridley. I mean, survived. That's what
Ridley was a real meanie in that.
Yeah,
honestly.
he was being a real jerk. He really didn't want to turn around there.
I mean, I messed up the manip a little bit. I should have gotten him a little bit more to the right before trying to turn him around, but I'm just going to pick up this E-Tank. It's in my route anyway because I would like an extra one. One thing that's weird about GT code is you see my health right now has seven rows of 7 E-Tanks and then 1 extra one and then 0 health, and that's my actual max. And normally if you get 8 E-Tanks like I have now, you will have a maximum of 899 health, and right now I have a maximum of 800, and that's just because GT code literally it sets your health to 0. So if I saved, like, my E-Tanks would be all messed up, which is cool. There's actually a category called max percent GT code, where you skip as many items as possible and then get to GT code and activate it, and then you'll have more health than is listed on the bar.
Yeah,
right,
like
so I'm
the
gonna focus for this real quick.
The item that we get for oh, that was really close. The items that we get from GT code still exist in the game, so you can just like go and get them. It's just for most of them you already have them, so nothing happens. But for some of them, you can sort of like, I guess, quote unquote, collect them twice, and you can end up.
Well,
with
it's all the expansions. So the
like
all
missile supers, E-Tanks, that sort of thing.
But like all the like space jump and gravity suit and stuff like that. If you do GT code, it counts towards your percentage. If you pick them up a second time, it doesn't give you additional percentage. So you get to skip those, but you have to get all the minors.
It has to do with how the percentage is counted and other stuff and nerd things.
It's a very interesting category.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was Ridley. So the hard part is pretty much over, except for Mother Brain. And
Yeah.
Mother Brain is hard just because of the way that we're going to be doing stand-up glitch. I want to not glitch the game out like I did earlier today in practice.
There's a couple different ways that you can like soft lock during stand-up glitch, so hopefully none of those will happen today.
But I have a set counting procedure that will prevent all that from happening.
The strats.
So now we're off to fight Dragon. And we get to showcase the microwave glitch when that comes up, because we have X-ray and plasma, which is a fun combination of items to have.
Yeah, we'll talk
And that's
about
how
that
we're
more.
actually going to be killing all the rest of the bosses, which
Yes.
is very cheap, because you're not meant to have plasma before any of them.
I mean, I guess we can talk about it now. Like, essentially, plasma beam gives you the ability to pierce enemies with your beam shots, and some of the bosses were not programmed to handle that. So, when the beam pierces through them, it will just keep going through them, and then do damage whenever they aren't in iframes. And X-ray visor is just so broken. There's just so many broken things about X-ray visor. One of which, most notably here, is that you can use it to reset boss iframes. So you essentially
Only bosses that are before
Yes.
before plasma.
Yes. So you fire a charged plasma shot, and then you just press X-ray visor. Oh my god, did you get it? Oh, that was
No,
close.
I didn't.
Then you just press X-ray visor
Whoops.
a bunch of times over and over again, and then you microwave the boss, because every time you press X-ray visor, the iframes get reset and it gets hit again by plasma beam. So
A technique that's not commonly well known about is sometimes when going through doors, I will hold a charge shot and then during the transition let go of the charge shot, and you'll hear it charging through the door transition. You'll be like, why is he charging a shot? I'm not actually doing anything because I'm not holding the button anymore. And what it does is on the first frame of going through that door, it will release the shot for me,
yeah,
which is really cool. And it allows you to open things like a little bit faster.
yeah, it's needed in some rooms in order to open doors without bonking on them. This is Batwoon.
Batwoon, why did you do that position?
Batwoon is a
So
big
this is-
old butt face, but we get to microwave him and now he's dead.
That was a really bad position because I wasn't expecting him to go that direction. He usually doesn't.
Yeah. Batwoon is pretty random and has lots of weird patterns that you kind of just have to memorize if you want to fight him quickly in other categories. Anyway, this is full halfy coming up that I don't think
No.
is gonna happen.
Nope.
See?
And that's because I bonk on the door, and so I usually try to get it if I go before the door. I just go for halfy. I don't go for full halfy. I'm not that skilled.
Yeah, the full halfy is called so because it used to be called the halfy because you could get across half that room. But then somebody found setups that let you get across the whole room, and it's real weird.
Basically found that it's humanly possible to do the full halfy.
Yeah, yeah.
So normally Dragon is a huge pain, but we have plasma and X-ray, so we're just gonna microwave Dragon.
Yes. Normally, to
And-
fight Dragon, you either have to Shine Spark her in the face or fry the shrimp. Frying the shrimp is easy. Shine Sparking her in the face is not easy.
So I'm gonna crouch here, and the reason is that when you kill Dragon resets your pose, and so I will stand up, and now I know Dragon's dead.
Yeah, Dragon forces you into a standing state when she's dead because of reasons. It has to do with the fry shrimp kill and some other stuff. But because of that, yeah, you can get a nice easy tell when Dragon's dead because you'll stand up. And it's also what allows certain other glitches like Blue Suit to be a thing.
So I'm gonna go for a trick called the Womple here. And I messed it up entirely. The Womple is from that platform, you get a nice... Wow. No! From the platform that I did the first jump off of, you get nice running speed, and then if you do your space jumps properly, you can clear the platform and you'll have the most momentum coming through here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Womple, exactly.
There's a lot of really good names in Super Metroid for tricks and stuff.
Oh, I got this.
Nice.
Nice.
I think we're allowed to say soft poops on stream, which is my second favorite name. I don't know if we're allowed to say my favorite one.
Oh my goodness.
Nice shirt.
The reverse slinky, is that your favorite reverse slinky?
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, reverse slinky is really cool as well.
Yeah, I won't be doing anything like that. Actually, at the very end, I'll be trying a strat that Mega Man runners are huge fans of, obviously, because it is the blue bomber.
Yes.
Oh, did we meet the incentive?
Yes, we did. We're tickling the fish.
We are tickling the fish. This fish is unique. It is the only red fish, and there are some runners of Super Metroid who take care of this wonderful fish.
Yes.
This is a good fishy friend, and so we're tickling him with the grapple beam, and you can tell that he is ticklish because you can see him going nice and fast, and then when you tickle him, he stops for a very brief amount of time. So we are tickling the fish. This is the wholesome incentive, and I really love it.
It's so good.
And I'm so glad that I got to do this in a marathon.
Don't accidentally screw attack him.
Don't accidentally screw attack the fish.
Why
am I farming? This is GT. Oh my goodness.
Too much adding percent. Every time you would like fall off a platform when you have space jump, I've been playing too much Project Base, so I just mentally think to myself like, just spin reset and you could jump back up. It's like, you can't do that in vanilla.
Yeah, I'm very glad that this run is after, like a full day after the Project Base runs, because it's very different and you're very likely to mess stuff up switching from one to the other, because Project Base does a lot of things that make movements completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Which,
and like the doors, I think, is what messes me up the most, because in Project Base doors open in like a few frames, whereas in vanilla they open in a lot more frames, so you have to be more careful about not bonking on doors and stuff.
So there I completely messed up the item select, but I got to showcase one of the cooler minor details of Super Metroid that show how the developers of this game really went nuts, and that's if you use the item cancel and item select button, the icon for the thing will begin to flash, like the supers will be flashing like this, and when you shoot it, it will deselect immediately after, which it really just goes to show how crazy detailed there is stuff in this game.
There's so many little quality of life things in this game. I actually didn't know that for like the first year that I ran this game. Like,
oh yeah, me too.
I saw Zosti doing like 100% runs, and I was like, how do you get the blinky thing? And then I just tried random buttons until it worked.
Oh no, it's the right pattern. I don't know these. So Phantoon is going to be killed in the same way that we did the other ones. But we need to hit Phantoon first and then microwave him, because if we microwave him immediately, he'll just run off.
Yeah. Because Phantoon's AI is funky in how he opens and closes his eye to let you hurt him. But he's dead. He's donezo. That was a slow pattern, but it's fine.
Phantoon always gives a slow pattern when you want him to go fast, and he always gives fast when you're on bad pace.
This is completely accurate.
So I'm gonna skip all the drops because I don't care. Look how many missiles I have. I've no need for them. And then on top of that, because we have all the stuff, I don't need to get gravity suit, so we can just leave wrecked ship and not do the top part, which sucks.
Yep. And then we're gonna be just running across a bit of criteria to get back to landing site, and then down to Turian to finish the game. GT code is a lot faster than standard any percent because cheats. Most of the speed up is because it allows you to take a much more direct route through the nice goop spark.
I meant to shine spark across the whole ocean here, and instead I just sparked straight into the air because I messed up my inputs.
Yep. But it allows us to take a much more direct route through the game, doing Kraid, then going down to Ridley, then going back up to Dragon, up a little more to Phantoon, and then we're at the top of the game to enter Turian. It's sort of, you go down once and up once, whereas in a standard KPDR, any percent, you go down twice and up twice, going back and forth collecting items and such. So.
Maximum speed.
Nice.
It's really not hard to do that trick. You just have
No,
to
it's
time
not.
your jumps a bit.
Yeah.
Space jump is really weird because it looks like, oh yeah, you can just jump whenever, but there's actually restrictions on how long you have to have been jumping for, and like what your current velocity and stuff like that is.
Yeah, it's
And it's actually
surprisingly
quite
tight,
annoying.
the space jump windows. And the space jump windows are a lot larger if you're underwater, which is interesting.
They're infinite underwater,
Yeah.
except for
That counts as larger.
yes, except for you have to be falling at all.
Yeah.
That's the only requirement.
Now we do the,
which is
the most important
really-
speedrunning tradition, putting bombs in the eyes of the bosses. Very important.
But yeah, no, the space jump mechanics really mess you up if you don't realize that they're different in water, because you get space jump underwater and you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. And then you get out of water and you're like, wait a minute, this is really hard to control. And then you go back in water and you're like, wait, what is going on?
When I first started this game, I was like, do I just suck at space jump now? Like, I didn't know that.
Because once you get gravity suit, you completely ignore water except for as an ambient mechanism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some spread effects. There's like bubbles that come out of your suit every so often.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. Even a morph ball, and like there's splashes and stuff like that.
Yeah. This game is so well done.
It really is. If you haven't played Super Metroid, go play it.
Yeah, if you haven't played this game seriously, go play this game. This game is so good casually. And also really good to speedrun, but I think admittedly we're a little bit biased.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Here's a grouping strat. By stacking the Metroids on top of each other, you can go both of them with one super missile. That grouping strat is really easy to do, so like everyone does it.
I'm not doing it to conserve ammo or anything. I'm just doing it because it's literally faster than shooting them twice.
Yeah. Well, there is like a faster strat that involves shooting them separately, but it's real hard.
It's also really easy if you just learn the one strat.
Yeah.
So here we're coming up on baby skip, and I'm not going to do it because I don't know how.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult.
There's a bit here where the baby Metroid from the intro cutscene that we don't watch comes and noms on your face.
So I'm going to be using a mechanic of charge beam that when you like spin jump, it like does something funky to your iframes, and I'm going to take as much damage as I can here.
Yeah, these blue side hoppers.
I did really well on that.
Yeah, the blue side hoppers are
great.
real strong and do a lot of damage to you, and also have a lot of HP.
So I'm also facing to the right because they programmed in a standing up animation that takes half a second for Samus to stand up, but only if she's facing left, the direction that you'll likely be traveling.
Yep. You literally save like 20 frames if you just turn to the right. Because the only times that you're like supposed to ever use that animation are from the getting nommed on by the Metroid and getting hit with the gay rights beam by Mother Brain. So
I did a...
Yeah, you explain.
Yeah, I did a recharge trick there. If you pause, and then while the pausing duration is like the fade out is happening, go into the recharge. I can go into the menu, unequip the two things I need to unequip. I need to unequip screw attack because it messes with my iframes for this next skip, and I need to unequip Varia because it's going to mess up, or because it alters how I'm going to do the stand-up glitch. Then after, I can just move, and I don't have to sit there and wait for the energy refill completed text box to show up.
Yeah. So you want Varia turned off for stand-up glitch because... So, Mother Brain takes a certain amount of damage, nice super, and then hits you with the gay rights beam, and it does 300 damage to you normally, with both suits on. There's a flag
This
set...
is a mess.
It's like, this is the best Mother Brain one I've seen in my life. What are you talking about? Only got a little bit bodied by SpaghettiOs. So
I am going to be doing some counting because I would like to save some time.
Yeah. I'll talk about stand-up.
So I'm gonna focus a bit. You can go ahead and talk, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. So with Varia turned off, the gay rights beam does 600 damage to you, which bypasses the flag for you should be stuck in a crouching state, for getting hit by the gay rights beam, basically. and it has to do with some other stuff.
Nope.
So, easy. So Komaru wants to stay above 600
700.
HP here. Well, 700 HP here.
Yeah, so I have to go back into the... Oh, I really have to go back into the menu now.
Yeah, he has reserve tanks, which he can use to get himself some more energy. And then nice ketchup, dude.
This has gone wrong. This has really
nice
gone
ketchups. So
okay, well, stand-up isn't happening anymore.
Yeah, stand-up's not happening because he doesn't have enough health. So never mind that. But it's fine.
That was one of the worst Mother Brain 2s I've ever had.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Just taking those ketchup beams directly to the face.
Normally, I am really good at dodging those. Like, it's been a long time since I've been hit by a ketchup.
Mother Brain's, all of her attacks are named after food, and the orange beam that does literally a full E-tank of damage, 2 full E-tanks without various suit, is called the ketchup beam. And usually if you get ketchup, it's rip run, like, you don't have enough health to survive the gay rights beam, so you just die.
That's why I got the extra E-tank, so that way, if I did everything properly before then, I got hit by the ketchup, I would be at the right health, so I could get hit by a couple things that I'll try to avoid, or a ketchup. And then even if I did get hit by a ketchup and I didn't massively mess up like I did, I would be able to use a reserve tank to put myself in the proper health for the stand-up glitch. But instead, I don't even know what happened.
It's alright. It happens to everyone.
I was really hoping to show it off, because I don't think I've done the stand-up glitch in a marathon before, so it's quite a shame, but it only cost us like 20 seconds or so.
Yeah. Basically, you are able to stand up during this cutscene, and you can just shoot Mother Brain in the face a whole bunch, and
like,
that does
right
damage
now.
for her like right now. And that does damage for her third phase, which is about to start, and shortens the third phase by a lot.
There's actually a couple different ways to soft lock if you're doing that glitch, though, and that's one of the things that I was talking about that I literally practiced today, counting out different ways to do it, so that way I wouldn't mess up.
Yeah, you can get the baby Metroid stuck outside of the screen, and then Mother Brain can't shoot it and it won't die. You can get the baby Metroid stuck on the left side of the screen, and then Mother Brain can't shoot it and you won't die. You can, if you're shooting when the game gives you the gay rights beam, then the game will crash. If you are doing something wrong that I don't fully understand, the game will lag out for 5 full minutes, but then be okay. Like, lots of weird stuff can happen. I timed it. It happened to me the other day. It's 5 full minutes of lag, and then the game's fine. It's so weird.
Oh my god, I messed this up. you need to land before that door transition.
Yeah. That way
So
you can, shoot
upcoming up now is I need quiet for this. This is my favorite trick. This is the blue bomber. Oh, that wasn't fast enough. Oh no!
Oh, so close.
No. We're doing it again
close.
Because it's a marathon and I really want to get it, and I messed it up. So we're just gonna shine spark out of here.
Oh, do you want to save or kill the animals? We saved in Project Base.
No. Yeah, we can save them. Somebody paid to save the animals, so we might as well save all the animals.
Yeah.
I'm also well behind estimate here, so we've got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, this was a really good run. No deaths or like resets or major mistakes, really.
It's just my speedrun-itis, but this was a really bad run.
Hey, it was a really good marathon run. It was entertaining.
Okay.
You know, basically got all the stuff.
What? I'm sorry, this was a what run? This was a good run?
This is the best run. Behemoth Spark. That diagonal spark there is called Behemoth Spark. That's great. It's very slightly faster because you can spark earlier instead of all the way in the corner.
Normally my runs aren't this garbage. Oh my god.
Movement.
I swear I am 100% completely sober and clear-headed, and I even got a decent amount of sleep last night, so I don't know what's going on today.
Everyone makes mistakes. It's just marathon luck. Just play marathon luck. It's not Project Base anymore, Komaru. You can't get a charge.
Go on, go!
Yeah, they go.
You actually have to shoot the door to get them to be saved, but...
Yeah, you don't have to watch them leave, but you can.
They're cute. Especially that last one. It's like, are you going, Samus? Yes.
I'll see you on the other side. Bad Steam,
Red Steam luck.
RNG.
And
Yeah. Oh heck. Ah!
So, this actually, yeah, it was a pretty bad run, honestly, just because of the amount of things that I messed up and missed.
Yeah, but that's all right.
I'm really happy to have showcased a lot of the stuff. And I did Lava Dive without needing to use any of my safety saves. So that's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's GT Classic. Get all the stuff, boss rush to the end, and you get to do lots of tricks and stuff. If you like Super Metroid movement, this is the category for you.
I mean, if you like Super Metroid at all.
And in a second, you'll see a pixel shoot off to the right from the planet, and that's the animals being saved.
There it is. They escaped. And now Metroid Fusion is officially canon.
So that's it. That's all I have.
All right.
I'll be back later tonight for Final Fantasy V.
Yep. All right, so we are going to be switching restreamers at this point. So the stream's going to go down for just a second or two, but don't panic. It'll be right back up. Don't go anywhere.
I'm panicking.
I told you not to panic. I said don't panic.